God, are you handsome?
Where do you think I get it from, man?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 criminally underrated cartoon series.
That's when I discovered that the dragon could shoot fire from both ends. Anyway, enough about every detail of my life. Tell me something about you.
For this list, we'll be looking at the best animated programs that don't get nearly the respect they deserve. We won't include shows who've experienced a massive resurgence in fans, such as the gothic Gargoyles or the comedic Clone High. What's a show you wish more people talked about? Give us those recommendations in the comments. Number 20, Todd McFarlane's Spawn. At a time when animation was heavily marketed towards younger audiences, HBO greenlit a faithful adaptation of one of the darkest comic characters ever written.
What would you do if at the moment of death, a voice from the darkness offered you the chance to live again? Have your answer? There's no time to think about it.
The mature storylines pushed the limits of what was acceptable from the medium. There were plenty of guns, tons of violence, and frequent deaths. But the show never felt like it was being shocking just for the sake of it either. Its gritty aesthetic and stylized direction felt right for a main character who had made a literal deal with the devil. So why did it get overlooked? There are fans who believe the critical and commercial failure of the live-action 1997 Spawn film is to blame. Without the flop, this anti-hero show may have spawned a larger fan base.
No one in the free world will sell you these kinds of weapons except for me.
Number 19, Two Stupid Dogs. There's a refreshing simplicity to the dim-witted hijinks of these two canine companions.
Hey! Hand over that cheesecake!
Unsurprisingly, the name also serves as the show's premise, and it never strays too far from delivering what's on the tin. But the uncomplicated setup didn't mean the series lacked lots of bark. Underneath the straightforward animation style, there were some absolutely absurd storylines that were quirky, chuckle-worthy, and most definitely memorable. But declining viewership led to an abrupt end for the series after its very zany second season.
You'll pay for this! Mark my words! You will pay!
Although it was gone too soon, this dog duo is still capable of waking up the whole neighborhood with laughter. Number 18, Earthworm Jim. A show following a grub in space has no right being this charming.
Quick, little buddy! With me! With me!
I beg your pardon?
But against all odds, a worm shot for the stars and landed among animation greatness. Based on a series of side-scrolling video games, the series follows Jim. As you might have guessed, he's an earthworm that rocks a robotic supersuit. His earnest personality made watching him fight crimes across the cosmos into a ridiculously entertaining experience. Armed with plenty of knowing wit and original ideas, Jim soared across the cosmos before crash landing after just 2 seasons. While he may have Earthworm in his name, he deserved to leave his mark across the entire galaxy in a much longer run.
I've been reading the suit's user's manual. There's only one way to find out what's wrong. I've got to go inside this bad boy.
Number 17, The Awesomes. Instead of focusing on the classic action-packed high-stakes drama that fills many superhero series, this show focused on less than awesome heroes.
Oh, you don't want to hear about me. I don't have any superpowers or anything special.
That's true, but I'm not really paying attention.
And that's not us being mean. These guys are literally only brought in because the heavy hitters left the team. Through the fresh eyes of these B-listers, we got a supersized load of wisecracking gags and surprisingly thoughtful commentary. It blends memorable characters, heartwarming themes, and lots of laughs into one heroic package. But it was only Hulu's second ever original show. Since these heroes arrived so early on the service, they flew under the radar and didn't get the fame they deserved.
Now, wait a minute. All good superheroes have flaws and issues. It's what drives them.
I think you're protesting a little too much.
Hey, I got nothing to hide.
It's definitely not your average superhero tale. However, its quirky differences gave us a show that's befitting of its title. Number 16, Mucha Lucha. Under the Mask of Luchaville is a series that unapologetically embraces wrestling and all the zaniness it entails.
Who are you going to believe? The flea or that bedbug?
This show follows the delightful exploits of 3 up-and-coming wrestlers, enrolled at the foremost world-renowned international school of lucha. Thanks to energetic voice acting and striking character designs, you instantly want to step into the ring with these contenders. The show conveys a true love for the Mexican style of the sport that's hard to not be charmed by. It's just an absolute shame that a planned 4th season was scrapped after executives apparently didn't see the fun of lunchtime duels.
But the flea is also very suspicious.
Without a doubt, this school was totally worth enrolling in for another term. What other curriculum requires a signature move to pass finals? Number 15, Disenchantment. Made by the creator of Futurama and The Simpsons, this spellbinding tale had all the right ingredients to make a love potion with audiences.
Your Majesty, it is with much heroism that I now return Princess Bean, along with this priceless sack of elves.
It boasts the same comical vulgarity and stylized animation of its contemporaries, with a medieval coat of paint on top. What's not to love? However, its esteemed staff and excellent voice cast hasn't enchanted audiences as much as expected. But that doesn't mean it's not worthy of your time.
Which of you brave knights will enter first?
Probably him.
While it may not drive as much fan chatter as other animated shows, it has an ambitious serialized narrative. It also has multi-dimensional characters that make Dreamland feel like an easy place to vacation. Just be wary of falling off the edge of the world. Number 14, Clerks the Animated Series. While it shares a name with the Kevin Smith classic, this television continuation of the cult hit comedy film looked a bit different from the original. For one, it was in color and also completely animated. But the presence of the original cast and creative team made this zany show feel like a natural extension of its source material. Unfortunately, the eccentric tone wasn't a great fit with its original network, and out-of-order airings put the series right in the express cancellation aisle. Tragically, only a mere 2 episodes aired before the show checked out for good. This forgotten corner of the franchise is still deserving of its chance to stock the shelves.
And do you think Phantom Menace is as good a movie as Empire?
Well, certainly. I think it's the best movie I've made yet.
Permission to treat this witness as hostile.
Number 13, Mission Hill. When Andy's inept brother Kevin moves in with him, the French siblings have to face the overbearing weight of societal expectations.
You didn't give me enough time to work my magic.
Kevin, no woman on earth has that much time.
They each have their own baggage. While Andy's trapped in a post-college slump, Kevin is more sheltered than a tornado bunker. Somehow they make for the charming duo. The show absolutely nails the brotherly dynamic and all the dry humor and probing quips that come with it. And while there's plenty of cheek-numbing laughs in each episode, there's tons of depth too. Stories routinely address issues of politics, growing up, and self-worth without losing the low-stakes fun.
Oh, hey, it's Jerry, right?
Yeah, but my friends call me the Republican vampire.
This brotherly show ultimately couldn't quite overcome the hill of low ratings, but the hike was certainly one to remember.
So you're gonna buy it?
Oh, no.
Number 12, Code Lyoko. This show leapt over expectations, borders, and dimensions all without breaking a sweat. Originally created in France, the series' expert balance of character, action, and comedy made it a prime candidate for English audiences.
Xana's the name of a rock group, but with all the junk that you listen to, there's no way you could possibly know them.
What do you think I am, an idiot or something?
You said it, not me.
It followed a group of teens entering a virtual world called Lyoko to fight the evil Xana, but the exciting combat was always complemented by a grounded storyline in the real world. The stylistic choice to animate scenes in Lyoko using CGI and the rest in traditional 2D gave each world a distinct visual identity. However, despite these artistic merits, the show has largely been forgotten since its end in 2007.
Yeah, go on, laugh your heads up, but who knows, you might be in for a big surprise.
It's totally worth a revisit just for the catchy theme song alone. Number 11, Whatever Happened to Robot Jones? Ironically, the title of this show is also what most audiences asked when it was unceremoniously canceled after a brief 13-episode run.
Whatever happened to
Robot Jones?
It chronicled the timeless tale of a naive character growing up and learning about what it means to be human. The only dent is that he's, a robot with a few screws loose. But that became the series' strength. Jones's sweet optimism in the face of school, friends, and love was an engaging spin on the well-trodden formula. The series' blueprints manufactured something that could have easily become one of the absolute greats.
Wow! I didn't know that all of the famous presidents were robot origins. I should have guessed.
However, they just didn't give the robot enough time to shine in front of audiences. Number 10, Superman, the animated series. The Blue Boy Scouts 90s animated series was definitely overshadowed by the Caped Crusaders' small screen adventures.
Brainiac, I presume.
I apologize for any discomfort, but it was important that I accurately gauge your powers.
This take on the last son of Krypton had the daunting task of updating the mythology for a whole new generation. Thankfully, complex story arcs and a stellar voice cast succeeded in making this the de facto version of the character for many. It's got classic villains, tons of comic book Easter eggs, and great action sequences. It also features one of the greatest portrayals of the Clark and Lois romance in any medium.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. Gotta go.
Give him one for me. Make it a dozen!
And if Superman alone isn't a big enough sell, rest assured there are plenty of iconic team-ups during the series. His flights across the world make the series a must-watch for DC fans. Number 9. Celeb 2021. Deep in the ocean lies a well-meaning television program about marine life and environmentalism. But this isn't that at all. Instead, Celeb 2021 is actually a parody of the short-lived Celeb 2020.
Well, at least you won't have to deal with it in high school. Anywho, you're signed up to go diving before you, die.
As a satire that outlived the original, it's maddening how little this show is discussed. The staff was given little to no creative oversight while writing. In the end, they decided to borrow the original's animation while abandoning any of its inspiration's serious overtones. A distinct lack of continuity meant relationships, set pieces, and characters themselves could meet hilarious ends and be reset next episode. The result is a show that has to be seen to be appreciated. Even today, the water is still just right for a swim with this unhinged comedy.
So how long has he been out there?
3 hours.
That's freaking amazing! It's freaking impossible! The pressure should explode his head instantly.
Number 8. SWAT Kats, the Radical Squadron. After getting discharged from their military positions, these two feline crime fighters literally rose from the ashes of defeat.
After handling the Turbo Cat, driving this tow truck is one big snooze.
Hey, it may not be glamorous, Chance, but there's an old lady stuck in a ditch out here who's depending on us.
They focused on building their own fighter plane that was complete with plenty of cool gadgets and weaponry. Once it was ready, they took to the skies to take down villains. The adventurous plot lines and engaging characters made the dogfights, or in this case, cat fights, absolutely riveting. Better yet, both fans and critics agreed. Reportedly, it was the #1 syndicated animated program in 1994, but executives that disliked the show's violence threw future plans for the series into the litter box despite its apparent success. Although SWAT Kats deserved so much better, it just didn't have 9 lives.
The old Ghost was good, but old T-Bone was better.
Number 7. Undergrads. The best lessons in college don't come from a classroom. Or at least that's what these freshmen hope since they spend so little time attending courses. Instead, they're navigating newfound freedom, girl troubles, and roommate spats. But what significantly lightens this course load is how authentic their vulgar antics feel.
Seriously, I did stuff in high school, right? High school traditions like prom are stupid. Just wait till I get to college, where they've got actual cool stuff to do.
Part of the reason it feels so relatable is the fact that the series creator, Pete Williams, was a college dropout when he started working on the show. Additionally, he also voiced all 4 of the central characters. In our eyes, these undergrads passed all their exams with flying colors, but they were tragically expelled after just 1 season.
You're so calm, cool, and collected. It's like nothing bothers you.
No, Kimmy! Ah!
Number 6. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Constrained by budget limitations, this creative team decided to completely reimagine its recycled footage to a different kind of cult classic.
Hello, I am Space Ghost. Welcome to my show.
Gone was the straight-laced tone of the original Space Ghost. In its place, a satirical talk show was greenlit. This framing device was a brilliant workaround for limited animation since it quickly becomes a part of the joke. The format also followed several meta gags. Audiences got recurring segments, a complete lack of a fourth wall, and weekly guests. But they weren't always animated. Sometimes real-world celebrities made appearances promoting actual projects. The series has dealt with changing networks and unfavorable time slots throughout its run, but its sheer amount of wit, laughter, and fun makes this Space Ghost always worth tuning into.
I have designed this speaker to amplify my thoughts so people will quit asking me for sandwiches. That should work, right?
I don't know what you're talking about, Space Ghost.
Go ahead, Moltar.
My show was...
Number 5. The Tick. The only thing serious about this loving parody is how seriously fun it is.
Step 1. We must choose battle cries. You know, the cries we always emit just before leaping into battle.
Oh, you mean like, not in the face, not in the face?
With absolutely no pretense of a dramatic narrative in sight, this farce-like take on superheroes focused on cracking jokes instead of saving the day. The lack of high stakes allowed it to strike a heroic balance of homage and insult to a genre in dire need of a fresh perspective. While The Tick lasted 3 seasons and garnered Emmy nods, it's still not treated with the reverence other superhero shows get. Now that superhero stories are bigger than ever, this flea-like crime fighter is well deserving of a resurgence. The Tick's not the best crime fighter on the block, but the one thing villains can't squash is this guy's knack for entertaining.
This is your mind speaking. Oh, hi. Sorry I haven't been around much lately. I'm easily distracted by shiny objects.
Number 4. Freakazoid. Originally developed as an action-adventure program, some retooling led to the creation of one of the funniest cartoons of its time. Protagonist Dexter Douglas accidentally becomes superpowered after absorbing all the knowledge of the 90s internet. He decides to use his powers for mostly the right reasons. While Freakazoid acknowledged the utter insanity of someone in a skin-tight suit fighting crime, it didn't discount the concept. Instead, the slapstick charm and exaggerated expressions made the show into a devoted love letter to superhero stories.
Go away! We're having a good time until you showed up, jeepers! Go have some coffee with cream or something!
But a lot of its zany wit and meta humor might have been lost on its Kids WB audience, so Freakazoid was forced into early retirement. At the end of the day, it left behind a beloved legacy of untapped potential.
Now, ladies, calm down. There's plenty of me for everybody. If not, I'll just have them draw me bigger.
Number 3, Rocco's modern life. Existence is pretty mundane for this anthropomorphic wallaby.
Laundry day is a very dangerous day.
He's Australian, scared of most everything, and does his best in day-to-day life. But thanks to the hijinks of his wacky friends, Rocco's adventures are anything but dull. The outrageous stories featured an unreal amount of laughs per minute. And they weren't just for children. The edgy comedy was written with older audiences in mind, featuring plenty of biting commentary and questionable innuendos. Its cult fan base is a testament to its quality.
I am an alien. For our evil plan to take over this puny planet, see next page. Well, that's one page.
However, this show should have been a mainstream smash. Despite having an incredible launch and critical acclaim, it never reached the heights of Nicktoons like SpongeBob. It's a shame because Rocco's was hilarious and meaningful. It proved that cartoons could examine resonant issues without foregoing the fun factor. Number 2, The Critic. The reviews are in, and this one is a hit. J. Prescott Sherman is far from the friendliest pundit, but his prickly attitude and dry wit made each episode an easy 10 out of 10. His job included commenting on in-universe parodies of real-life blockbusters.
Keanu Reeves in The Merchant of Venice. Beach.
Hath not a dude eyes? If you prick us, do we not get bummed?
Fortunately, Jay always delivered meaningful and constructive feedback. The abstract humor paved the way for an impressively insightful look at criticism, public opinion, and pop culture that's still relevant to this day. But the sharp show only stood for 2 seasons. Its satirized takes on classics like Home Alone and Jurassic Park are enough to make this underappreciated sitcom mandatory viewing for any movie buff.
Our next film is Jurassic Park 2. Revenge of the Raptors, a non-stop thrill ride.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Duckman, Private Dick, Family Man. This game of Duck Duck Goose landed on a blend of film noir and household comedy, but somehow it still took flight. It followed private investigator Eric Tiberius Duckman. As the name of the series implies, he's torn between his detective work and being a semi-decent father figure. But he's also a self-loathing duck with lots of rage and a penchant for some long-winded rants.
You think I'm sick? Well, the only disease I've got is modern life. A schnut-busting gauntlet of inefficiency and misery that's one long parade of letdowns, put-downs, trickle-downs, shutouts, freeze-outs, sellouts, numbnuts, nick-and-puts, and nimrods.
The Emmy-nominated series has quacked out rightful acclaim thanks to its fantastically indulgent plot lines and pitch-black comedic timing. If anything is truly shameful, it's that this masterful portrayal of self-destruction never got the flock of fans its quality warranted.
How can one person be so oblivious, insensitive, hateful, tactless, boorish, and ill-tempered to everyone he meets?
It's a gift?
After all, nothing will ever top an anthropomorphic PI going on a tantrum about the unfairness of life. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.